everyone, and welcome to another episode of Karen About Wrestling. You are watching the 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. If you want to get tickets for any of our live shows, make sure you check out 365prowrestling.com. Also, are you interested in the Pro Wrestling Academy? Check out our socials. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. We love that. All right. Going to get right into it because we have an excellent show in store for you this evening. Former member of the Fallen Circus, doing some commentary now. He's all over the place. We're going to have a great catch up. Let me introduce you to my guest for the evening, Haviko.
So many questions, Karen. I hope we can answer some of them. It's so nice to be back here with you, my friend. I am been looking forward to chat with you again. Back on my favorite wrestling podcast, the entire world, Karen About Wrestling.
Thank you so much for joining me. I too have been looking forward to this conversation because, as usual, there's lots of big changes always happening at 365 Pro Wrestling, and you are in a unique position to be knowing about all of them at this point. But before we get into all that, I want to just let you have a chance to update the fans on where you're at with your injury.
With my injury, yes, this has been a roller coaster of emotions over the last few months. Last time we talked, Karen, I believe I was nice and healthy. I had those tag team championships in sight. The Fallen Circus, we were about to be on top of that mountain again. Once upon a time, we had the combat championships, the tag team championships. We were all holding gold. Um, then we were the moment of truth. We've been since the beginning of time, as I've said before, Fallen Circus, moment of truth. We've been at odds. We've been at war. Fallen Circus, we earned ourselves a tag team title opportunity against the moment of truth for those beloved tag team titles. And literally the week before that big matchup in Victoria, I injured my knee during training. I didn't know at the time, but a couple months later, after waiting for the MRI, it turned out I ended up completely tearing my ACL. So that's the main thing, and a partial tear on my meniscus. A couple other things bruised up in there, but yeah. Long story short, I've been out of the ring for some time now.
Yes, you have. And so, what's the prognosis now going forward? We're looking at surgery. We're looking at long rehab. What are you thinking?
Well, once something's completely torn, I found out, it can't grow anymore because so yeah, surgery is my only option if I want to have an ACL again. And honestly, the style of wrestling that I do, the high flying, again, just high impact, I need an ACL again. It's been a long wait, but luckily, actually, this is kind of breaking news because I just got the official call earlier today, Karen. So I haven't really told anybody this, but officially, I finally have a appointment to get my knee checked out by the surgeon who will do the surgery this week. So that is really relieving. And from all accounts, it's like once we get to this point, things get moving. So it's been a long waiting process to get the MRI, to get the results, mainly then to talk to the surgeon. But hopefully the ball will get rolling here. I've been attending physio rehab, I've done in the past. And for anyone who's had an injury, if you can afford it, I suggest it. Yeah, so I've been working hard, and actually, most of life I can walk again. It's great. I can't quite jump, but honestly, I'm far from being a pro wrestling shape. But I'm gonna have some downtime whenever surgery is. I'll be immobile for a bit, non-weight bearing for apparently weeks to months, and it's a long recovery, but I will be back. So.
Well, that is great to hear, and congratulations on your upcoming appointment. I hope everything goes well and you get a surgery date really quickly. So we're all hoping that for you for sure. So you alluded to just a moment ago the Fallen Circus, and so
Well, remember, okay, you keep talking, Karen, but I have questions for you soon. But okay,
you have questions for me?
you referred to the ringmaster of the Fallen Circus as a former member, but I get it. There's a lot of confusion after the past few weeks in Victoria. Actually, it's been months ago, and I'll let you finish. Ask the questions.
Yeah.
I said it's been an emotional time for Aviko. I promise you, this is gonna be your most emotional podcast. Yeah, this is the most emotional caring about wrestling because you're about to touch on my feelings right now. Anyways, go on. I'm
It's
just trying to avoid the topic.
So I want to know. So now that you're injured, not wrestling. We're going to talk a little bit about the new role
Sucks.
that you're playing now, but what is happening with the Fallen Circus?
I wish I could tell you. For a while, I've been saying brothers fight. They do. Fallen Circus. They've been my best friends over the last couple of years. Inferno, Zach Andrews. I love them both so much. They have helped me achieve things in my career I didn't think I'd get to do. It's been such a joy working with them. But again, ever since we lost that tag team title opportunity months ago and said goodbye to the mask, the clown, it seems like everything just kind of it's been falling apart. There's been a lot of tension. I've not been there at ringside with them. They've been I don't know, blaming each other for months. As I said, brothers fight. We saw a couple of weeks ago, Zach was frustrated after a loss and actually hit Inferno with a clothesline. But those two were willing to put everything past them. Again, we had another chance to bring those tag team titles home this past week in Victoria. Inferno and Zach, they were working so well together, and then Zach just bailed on them. As I said, brothers fight, but I don't know what's going on because brothers don't abandon each other. So it's all I can
Wow.
say about that.
I clearly missed some action and some drama this past week when I at the first Metropolitan Hall here in Victoria.
Sorry, Carrie. Yeah. I guess it's been such a blur. You weren't there, but yeah, Fallen Circus versus Guilty by Association, and as I said, I thought we put everything behind each other. Even Inferno and Zach Andrews, they had a match here in my hometown of Campbell River. I made them just I thought we put it all behind us, but I don't know. I guess Zach has other ideas, and he's the only. He hasn't returned my. He hasn't messaged me back or returned my calls. He's just posted on social media that he needs to do things by himself. So I mean, I can respect that, but as I said, I just
Wow.
things are kind of harder now.
Well, no doubt. It sounds like everything's changing. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks or months as all you folks try to navigate this craziness. And of course, with your injury and all of that. So I guess now this is the natural transition to talk about
Yeah.
with what's going on with the Fallen Circus and the uncertainty. It seems you have decided to kind of focus a little bit on commentary.
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience, but I gotta say, one of the hardest decisions of my career. But I thought it was something I had to do, not just for myself, to stay busy and feel like I was helping contribute to 365. I also love to talk. I don't know if you know this, Karen. I think that's why we've got such good chemistry here. But Also, more importantly, at the time, I really thought I was helping the Fallen Circus because we're always been there for each other at ringside. Again, just encouragement, coaching, and sometimes being the equalizer. We got people like the Moment of Truth out there. You never know who's going to show up, so we're always just there to protect each other. But I felt after my injury, I was a liability. Especially after this one match in Victoria. Really got to me when I was at ringside and Inferno was had a match against Josh Cadwell, the new 365 global champion, and Josh Cadwell again. I thought I just felt like a distraction after this match. Josh Cadwell kicked my cane over. Inferno got tried to again. I became a liability. I felt at this time. Inferno came to save me, but again took his focus off the match, and Josh Cadwell capitalized, and Inferno lost that night. And I just that was one of the main reasons I decided, what, I can't be as helpful as I once used to be, and just let's try something else for now. So I wanted them to see, spread their own wings. I didn't want things to go as they've gone, but we'll move on from that and just keep talking about commentary. But yes, I just wanted to try something new, and I've been really enjoying this experience of getting to take in more wrestling, watch every single match on the card. That is a treat. That is a privilege. But more importantly, just look at wrestling from a different point of view and getting to talk about it more has just been a joy.
Well, we love that for sure. And you have a partner in crime at the commentary desk, and that would be Nolan James. How do you like working with Nolan? How's that going?
To be honest, well, so first couple, the ups and downs, this emotional roller coaster I've been on, Karen. My first couple nights out, I remember my first time in Victoria. I'm doing play by play right now, and my original color commentator was yours truly, and PG
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
And when Nolan, when there was some reshuffling, Nolan James joined the color commentary team. Honestly, I almost quit.
Wow, you felt pretty strongly about that.
I'm not gonna. I think in our last interview, I touched on a bit of the history of the uprising, our friendship, training together. I don't need to go all into it again, but I thought I had moved past it a little bit. But being there side by side, having to work, I was fine with it at first, but I don't know. It got to me after a while. I realized there's still a lot of trust issues, a lot of animosity still within me, and it took me a while to get to the place I am at now. And as I said, I almost quit. There was a show when we went to New Westminster in Sapperton. I went and told management that I couldn't do play by play that night. I just need to be backstage with Inferno, and I just Nolan stayed on commentary, and I thought that was going to be it for the night, but things have progressed, and it turns out my love for commentary is surpasses my animosity towards Nolan James.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. So, yeah, a little bit of a sacrifice there to sit next to him from the sounds of it, but also from what I'm hearing, you guys make a great commentary team. So,
That's the craziest thing about all of this is I don't know, I've been able to heal a lot from the past situations because there's been a bit of a spark between us again. It's been I can't say we're friends, but I mean, like, as much as I've said a lot of negative things about Nolan James, when he's not being an arrogant SOB, he is the best friend a man can have, honestly. As I said, he's been my training partner. He's been, if we can go into some personal details here, I haven't really talked about this too much, but just to tell you about this guy's character, and how much I appreciate him, and just why this has been so emotional for me. Like years ago, I haven't talked about this publicly too much, but a lot of people do know. I don't know if you know, Karen, because this is before you came around, but years ago, I had a tragedy in my life where I had lost my daughter right before birth. She was born stillborn, and obviously that set me off to a really dark place in my life. Actually, here just to segue on my segue, this I just got done. My awesome tag team partner Tara Zepp, as you guys know from the Fallen Circus, she did this work for me just recently after this injury to tie everything all in. So I had some downtime, got that. Anyways, so I went through that. My relationship I was in completely fell apart. I isolated myself. I was in a really depressed, dark state. Nolan James found out about this and didn't even ask me like what I needed. He just came over. He said, "I'm staying with you." He knew I was living alone. Lived on my couch for I don't know how long until until I started to pick myself back up slowly and surely. It honestly took years to get to this awesome place I'm at now. I really truly enjoy life. But if it wasn't for people like him, I honestly don't know if I'd be here. So I had so much love for him and still do, honestly. But then, things with the uprising, things with wrestling, the business got to us, and our relationship fell apart. So that really, really hurt. So again, as I said, it was hard to work with him at first, but there's been I feel like a tag team again. Honestly, we've always had great chemistry. Been able to put again the personal things aside and just do this job, and it's been great.
well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I didn't know that. And first, let me say I'm sorry for your loss. Also, it's great that you have this memory of Nolan James to hold on to.
He's not always a bad guy.
Right? Yeah, exactly, exactly. It helps you to maybe smooth things over at the commentary desk and make sure nobody throws elbows or anything during a live show. Although that would probably be pretty entertaining too, quite frankly.
I don't want anyone to touch the commentary desk. I know it's a staple in WWE. Everyone goes through it. Please, at an indie wrestling show, do not touch the commentary desk.
No doubt. Okay. All right. Well, I think it is about time to take a commercial break, our first one of the evening. Don't you guys go anywhere. We will be right back with more Karen About Wrestling and Haviko. And we are back. I'm Karen the Intern. You are watching Karen About Wrestling, and my guest this evening is Haviko. How's it going so far? Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time. As I said, I love talking, chatting with you, Karen. Is always a fabulous time. Let's keep this emotional roller coaster going, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I told
Here
you
we
last
go.
time that I was like Deanna Troy Ship's counselor for 365. So lay it on me. I can handle it for sure. All right. So we've been talking about you doing some commentary, and I wanted to ask you, do you have any favorite commentators?
I have been looking at commentary in such a different way ever since doing. It's kind of like wrestling. Before I got into the ring, I was like, they're just doing their thing, and I never thought about it. So, that's our answer has already changed in my world since I've been doing it. But honestly, like just the go-to for everyone, like my comfort nostalgia, and I think a lot of people would say this is the tag team of JR and the King growing up watching Raw. That's comfort, but honestly, to top that even more, I was actually a huge WCW guy. So Tony Schiavone and Mike Tenay, that's like for nostalgia and comfort. And again, I think Schiavone's actually both of those guys are really awesome. Yeah, Tony Schiavone and Mike Tenay is my that's my main answer as like a duo. Recently though, since I've been doing this and kind of like studying wrestling and tapes, I gotta say I really like the combination of Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura as a pair. They're like again, Gorilla Monsoon just very very professional, calling it sports, calling it, and Jesse Ventura being like the wrestler who can give you that wrestling experience and knowledge. And that's kind of how I saw myself and Nolan a little bit. I'm not like a wrestler myself, but I really wanted to be more of a serious play-by-play sports side of things and allow the color commentator to bring in that knowledge. So I really, sometimes I'm trying to watch more Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura. I'm trying to get some inspiration out of there. Other favorites, though, when it comes to just straight calling it, I like, as I said, because I like just a sports feel, is Mauro Ronaldo. He was with NXT for a bit. To me, he was my favorite commentator when he was doing his thing. If when it comes to when, as I said, I like more of a sports feel. I probably like you grew up watching a lot of hockey, even listening to it on the radio a lot. So again, I really like a play-by-play that's just calling in the action, calling the moves, and then having that former player, that former wrestler, just kind of really give you the experience of what it's like. So that's what I'm going for. So if I can be anywhere near like a John Shorthouse when it comes to play-by-play, I think I did my job right. That's my goal, a John Shorthouse.
Ah, I love that. Well, it sounds like you've got quite a wide range of influences in terms of people you're looking for too for kind of inspo for your commentary style going forward.
You know, you know who I really liked before I started doing commentary. Now that I've been looking in a different way, I think they're horrible, and please don't judge me for this. If obviously they listen to me, no, but two guys that just would pop me, and I thought were great, not great, but like I enjoyed. But now I'm like, I see a problem in this. Is Booker T, don't like I love Booker T, Shucky Ducky, Quack Quack, and Pat McAfee. I am so entertained by both these guys. Don't get me wrong, but they're so entertaining. And I realize sometimes when a match is going on, the highlight, the pop, the moment, the thing I'm focusing on is that the line they said. And this is something I'm struggling with right now. I am a character, like as in like the 365 nation knows who I am. So I have so much story and backstory to give, but I also want to call things as they are. But what I don't want to do is make any match about myself. And I feel sometimes Pat McAfee and Booker T, because of their antics and they get so out of hand, they can make it about themselves. I haven't judging by some of the tape. I've probably done this and been guilty, but I'm trying to work on that. So, as I said, just looking at things in a different light, I'm trying to just be more professional.
Well, you know what I love about this whole thing is that, we've known lots of 365 wrestlers who have gotten injured in the last year or 18 months. And, it's interesting how some people kind of can transition to other kind of jobs within 365, and other folks are like just there supporting the training or any of that kind of stuff while they're on the injured list and that sort of thing. So I just find it really interesting that the attitude is like, don't give up, and you're still involved, and we'll just do, we'll just turn it in this direction for a little while. And obviously you were open to that, right? That you were like, okay, so maybe I can't be wrestling right now where I want to be, but I can do this other thing that's wrestling involved, and it's really cool, and it's contributing to 365 Nation and all that good stuff. So I don't know that there was really a question in there. It was more just a commentary on like how people are dealing with their injuries and stuff. So I guess the question would be, like, from a mental health perspective, do you find that transitioning to commentary is helping you deal with the fact that you're not in the ring, or does it make you miss the ring more?
Yes and no. It's like a weird double-edged sword, but and again, speaking of double-edged sword, this is the best and worst time to get injured in 365 pro wrestling. And mean what I mean by that is we 365 pro wrestling has never been this big. There's never been this many shows. It is growing at such a rate, and I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna slow down. And it's so to miss out on some of the biggest shows that we've had has honestly stung a lot. So that's been hard. But on the flip side, as I said, the best time to be injured, there is so much room for activities right now. There is so many opportunities to help, to grow, to help build 365 Pro Wrestling because it's growing and it's like all hands on deck. So these roles that weren't even kind of needed or even thought of like even a few years ago in the locker room, in backstage, production wise, there's just more help needed and to be able to stay a part of the family and stay productive. It's brought so much joy to my heart.
I love that. I love that. So, reflecting back on your career, what would you say there? Would you say that there's like one career highlight that you're absolutely the most proud of?
The Fallen Circus, like not even a moment. It's just um like yeah, I was really Fallen Circus. I love what we built. I don't know what's coming up next, but the fan base, when I come into the ring and hear the whoop whoops, just see the people from all ages, honestly, like little kids to like full adults, just like, you know, part of this punk rock circus that we put on. It's been something cool to kind of visualize something because I visualized it and put so much time and thought into it when I was out with a previous injury. I had it's okay if I ramble, right?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna ramble. It's I'm at and again so many weird parallels. The last time that I kind of had to take a serious amount of time off, not even had to, I chose to. This was what I refer to as the fall in my career before we got here. This time is honestly a little bit more challenging. But anyways, let's rewind. What I was talking about is there's once upon a time I held the 365 Global Championship, and that put me on the map. It put me on the radar of a lot of companies that probably didn't give me the time of day before because I was undersized. I was, just a guy in a mask. It was just, they thought I was just a. I don't know. I don't know why. I honestly feel for a long time I was underlooked, and I was fine with that. I'm the underdog, but then I got to a place where I'm like, I have the championship and what I consider the company in Canada. Like, I can't even tell myself I'm an underdog anymore. And anyone who thinks I'm an underdog, I'm going to go to your company and I'm going to prove that I'm not. So it's a big belt. So I had a big chip on my shoulder. Even places like Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling, it put me in the spotlight with them. I got my first main event finally after grinding for years for the Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling Championship. I got a main event spot for that championship against Rhea Von Slasher. I had a main event spot in Victoria against Lax Siddhartha for the Global Championship. And then I lost. I lost both. Like my momentum was going, and not only did I lose, like I had been nursing a hip injury for a long time. So I took that as an opportunity to take a little time off for myself and to recover, to rehab. And it got to me. I isolated too much. So that's what I'm doing better this time, even though this is kind of harder this time off, is I didn't reach out to people. I didn't check in with friends enough. And honestly, I didn't know how dark everything was getting. It got to a place where like, yeah, I didn't even, yeah, it was honestly a little scary. And that's when I started almost talking to myself and, this clown showed up and that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I came back and again, just going back to the Fallen Circus is the greatest thing ever. Like Zach Andrews, Inferno. Like when I came back, they were there. And wrestling has been so much fun since. I've been doing this for close to 9 years now, and I've never had so much more fun than just hanging with those boys. So I hope we can get through this.
Yeah, no, I think you guys will. I think that the bond between you guys is strong enough that you'll make it through. Like you said, brothers fight, I think you guys will make it through. At least that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm telling myself. All right, I got another question for you. How would your 10-year-old self react to being a wrestler right now?
Well, when you're a kid and you're a big wrestling fan, you got wrestling posters up on your wall. Like now I'm a grown adult and I got wrestling posters up on my wall, Karen. But these are all shows I've been a part of, and it's crazy. There's a wrestling ring right now at my parents' house. It's not well, actually one of them's half set up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the ring trailer's parked right there. We're working on one of the rings right now. So, anyways, it's I he would be so ecstatic right now, and that's why even though there's a lot of hard times, I've had a lot of good friends in this pro wrestling world. A lot of them even reach out to me and just give me the advice of like, just think about once this is all done, the injury and you're back in the ring. It's just going to seem like a moment, and you almost, yeah. So that I don't know. It's as hard as this has been, not wrestling. Wrestling is completely my life, and the fact that that's still a thing, even if I'm not having matches, is 10-year-old Haviko is very happy Haviko.
Oh, that's so nice. And what advice would you give that 10-year-old Haviko?
Believe in yourself more. I've kind of iterated this before. I put off my wrestling dream for too long. I just thought it was something if I could just do it just to make myself happy. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't see the talent that other people saw in me, or just more so than my work ethic. Because honestly, I still don't think I'm one of the most talented people. I knew I was stubborn and I knew I could work hard when I applied my mind to it, but I didn't see where that could get me. There's other people like my coach Eddie Osborne. As hard and as tough as he is, I didn't realize what he saw in me until like a lot later. And I wish I had the early confidence that I do now. And now I got this confidence. I'm like a bull in the cage. I'm ready to go, Karen. I'm ready to make a name for myself. But I gotta wait. I gotta take a little step back. Gotta recover. Gotta learn a little bit more about this wrestling industry, and then I'll get back on top.
Oh, that's so sweet. I think that's the perfect message to give to a younger version of yourself for sure. And probably a message we all would have thought could have used at that age for sure. So I think we're about ready to take another little commercial break. So I hope you're going to stick around for one more round of questions, Havika.
2, 3, whatever we need. But yeah, one more round. Let's go.
Excellent. All right. Well, you guys stick
Uno mas.
right back with more Caring About Wrestling and Haviko. And we are back. You folks are watching Caring About Wrestling on the 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, and my guest this evening is Haviko. All right, so believe it or not, 2 segments down already. I always have a great time chatting with you, whether it's at live shows or in this kind of situation. I always learn lots of interesting things. So we've been talking a lot about wrestling, so maybe we can move on to some other topics if that's okay with you.
I'm very excited because
Okay.
I'll let you continue, but we missed a question last interview that I was very excited for, and I hope we get to it. So if it doesn't come up, I'm gonna bring it up myself. Okay,
You
go ahead.
totally should, yeah.
It's like a staple on the Karen about wrestling show, and we never got to it last time. So let's, as I said, I'm a big fan. I know this, Karen. I'm gonna put you over again. I don't always watch Karen about wrestling. I'm gonna be honest, but I listen to it all the time. I spend so much time on the road, so listen to it more of a podcast, and it's great. It's great. I love being here.
Yeah, I think I love that. I love that you're a fan of the show, obviously. And yeah, feel free to just you don't have to watch it. Although,
Like, you're in a band, you obviously know you have a skill on the microphone, but seriously, your voice, the sound of your voice really carries for a podcast. Like, you're really really great at this. So again, it is a pleasure to be here. I'm not just fluffing things up. I'm a critical guy, especially when it comes to audio. Go ask the guy helping produce this show. So yeah, I'm giving you flowers. I'm not just putting you over for no reason.
Well, thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate that. But I wanted to get back to you for a sec.
Okay.
So outside of wrestling, the other thing I know about you is you are very into music and you did a show
Yeah.
at Lucky a few months back, right?
Yeah, yeah, I got to host a hip hop show for the Vic City Soldiers. They do the intro song "Ready for War." They've been homies of mine for quite a few years now, and yeah, so Lucky Bar, Victoria. I had a little time off from wrestling, getting to work on music a bit more. So it's been getting to find that balance again.
And so in that show, were you just the host or did you get to perform a song or two as well?
I mean, I was just the host, but I was singing along to like one of my favorite artists. Actually, got a lot of favorite artists in Victoria, so yeah, I did have some good friends there. So a lot of good friends there that night.
That's amazing. So other than music, what else do you do besides wrestling?
Well, it's my favorite thing is to go for walks, which has been ironic because when I was all sad and hurt, I'm like, I want to go for a walk, but I can't. But the other thing I love is video games, which is great because I have a massive collection. I'm like, this is where my obsession. It's moments like this I've been preparing for my whole life. Like it's just like I have lifetimes worth of video games to go through and stories to keep me busy. So I do play a lot of video games. So it's like it's hard to think of anything outside of wrestling that I do like, but I do really like video games, like role playing games. I like the progression, kind of like fantasy stuff and things like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. What are you playing right now? Anything in particular?
I got back into playing NHL. I get into it every couple years because I like playing online and building my hut team and like you get like online trading cards, basically put your team together. And I get really obsessed with that. And Eddie Osborne and Lenny Lilac are and Elian Habanero in Ontario, those boys get really competitive. So playing with them is fun. And normally the last few years I haven't been into it. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is fun. And we're like watching them play because they get so angry at each other. It's so entertaining. It's like better than wrestling sometimes. But yeah, and now I'm getting super competitive. So even Maxwell Benson is super into it. So we have nights where we're just get serious.
That's
It's really serious. I
so do you watch hockey normally, or is this just like a video game situation?
I did, and then I cut my cable a couple years ago, and now I'm just like the Canucks are doing good. I'm a big fan. I don't know if you've adopted them yet, Karen, but they're doing well. Finally, they actually made the playoffs. So yeah, and then I haven't been watching, so I can go to my parents' place every once in a while, watching hockey with Eddie Osborne. Have a beer with him.
Nice. So very, very Canadian. So let's
You know
switch.
what else I like to do before we switch topics? That's ironic. I like to dance, and then I'm injured and I can't dance. You should have seen me at the Duncan Eagles Hall on my crutch and just killing it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
almost I almost stole this man's wife, but they were married for like at least 60 years, so I don't think it was gonna work.
No, you should incorporate the cane into the dance. You could make it totally work. I feel like this is we should work on some choreography.
I'm
Um,
gonna hit somebody by accident.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
lawsuit.
could happen. Yeah. Okay, so if you could travel anywhere in the world, if you could just buy a ticket right now, cost is not a factor, where would you go?
Damn it! I want to say somewhere where I don't. I want to say something exciting where I don't want where I've never been because so there probably is an answer. Like, but the thing that popped in my heart instantly was I just want to go back to my sister's house and hang out with my niece and nephew. I get to go there like when I want. It's become a yearly Christmas tradition. But my sister's got a new dog, and I want. I was so mad at her. She got a dog after Christmas. When I've been wanting a dog for so long, but Eddie Osborne keeps telling me you can't get a dog. It's too much responsibility, and he's right because I'm on the road all the time. But let me digress. My sister I love dogs. I don't know if you could tell the excitement I'm having right now. So she got a dog after Christmas. So I do want to go see the dog, hang out. But
What
more
kind of dog?
importantly, I honestly don't know. It's a Mexican. It's was on the street and then the mom was on the street, had babies. There's so many dogs in Mexico. Again, I love it. They're just roaming the street. But the baby, she had babies at like one of her friend's house. Long story short, they adopted one of the dogs. But more importantly, yeah, I want to go see my niece and nephew. They're just at that age that like every time I see them, they grow so much, and I just feel like I miss so much. So even though I get to see them every year for around Christmas, it's like it's just not enough.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So do you know the dog's name?
Bruce. Apparently, it's from some Disney movie, Moana.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I could. Yeah, I learned a lot about Disney and the new movies this past Christmas. I also watched Sonic 3 in Spanish. That was fun. Just how it was great. Because I'll be honest, even though I wear this hood, I don't know every Spanish word in the dictionary. But watching a movie in a language that is not your first nor second language is a lot of fun sometimes because you can still get it's like wrestling. You don't need words all the time to get the emotion out of something, to feel the story. It was actually a really cool experience.
That's a great observation actually. It transcends language for sure. So if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Jalapeno poppers.
Jalapeno poppers.
Yeah,
Like,
if they could be wrapped in bacon instead of batter, I would ideally take that, please. Because
okay.
yeah, so bacon, little cream cheese, jalapeno. That's my only food for the rest of my life. I'm going with that.
I love that. Let's switch gears before I get into many more questions because
Before I get hungry.
and that too. Although again, a lot of my questions are food focused. You said you had a question for me or a question you wanted me to ask. I just want to make sure we don't run out of time.
Yeah, I don't think we went down the supernatural road last time when we talked.
Oh,
That's one of your favorite questions. You like to ask people their
I
beliefs.
do. Yeah.
And
So
I already know you because I've heard your interviews. You're a semi-believer skeptic. You want to start a paranormal activity team. I'm like, "No, that's all."
yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, what's your feelings about the paranormal, Haviko?
Well, the first time you changed my perspective on the whole thing because when I first heard you, I'm like, people talking about this supernatural stuff. Like I like to believe in things that are right in front of my eyes. And then the more I heard other people's accounts and stories, I started thinking about my own life, and I realized like Zach Andrews and like other people in my life just chalked it up to an imaginary friend. But I had this thing in my life. This friend, Carl. I called him Carl.
Right.
Yeah, he wouldn't stop talking to me. He was in here, and then I used like a Ouija board, and next thing I know, he wasn't in my head anymore, and he was gone. But then I could see him, I could feel him. He was there with me at the wrestling show, but not everyone else could see him. So that started to make me realize maybe I wasn't insane, and maybe I was seeing a ghost.
Oh,
But then Brett Matthews killed that ghost, and I haven't seen it again. So I haven't figured out how you can kill the ghost. But also, like the clown, that's somebody that isn't really real, but I see all the time. So he's more like a spirit because he's in my head, but he's not in my head. Because when I look in the mirror, I see him, but he also sees me. So he's kind of like a spirit that is like taking over me sometimes, even though he's gone now because I had to say goodbye because I lost the enough. It's a long story, but the point is, I realized, you know what? Maybe I do believe in this supernatural stuff just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I I think that's wise. I think that's prudent. I think we should leave the door open for these things because you never know. The evidence might present itself.
I'm
That
ready to close the door.
as
It's been a
well.
long journey. It's been
Yeah,
a long journey.
indeed,
I need to
indeed. All right. So we've talked a little bit about like some emotional topics.
very
Right. We've
emotional.
gone on a bit of a journey. Do you have like an emotional support television show that you like to rely on?
Well, besides Raw's War, this South Park. People probably won't see this coming from a Vico, but South Park. It is that is like I don't know why it's my comfort show, but there's if you guys don't already know and you like South Park, if you live in Canada, there's a thing called Pluto TV. It's everywhere, but in Canada, it's free. There is like now 5 South Park channels if you want to watch this general South Park or on one on any character. I don't know. It's just it's just a show that's so ridiculous and so disattached from like actual real life that that's why I like it. And it does make fun at a lot of pop culture stuff that does drive me crazy in society. So yeah, that's my comfort show of all things is
Can you do any impressions from any of the characters on the show?
no, but Carl once did an impression of Kenny and died, and that made me sad.
Oh, well, that got dark.
I wish I could do an impression of Butters because like he's like my favorite. He's so like just adorably innocent. But maybe Tweak. I've had a lot of coffee today. Like ah, ah. There, Tweak.
Okay, do you want to hear my one impression that I can do from South Park?
Yeah.
Stanley, stop staring at my headgear, Stanley.
Shit, it wasn't even. Sorry, it wasn't even Cartman. Beep. That was amazing.
My character, yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley, stop staring at my headgear, Stanley. Okay, anyway.
Did you have headgear? Like, how did you do that? Is this tapping into a Karen of the past? We don't. That's okay. You don't have to out
Yeah.
yourself. I'm just impressed. Ooh,
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. So,
a lot.
believe it or not, we're already on the lightning round.
There's another lightning. Okay, no, I'm so.
Yes.
I'm gonna say we had to go.
Yeah, it's all brand new questions. All right. So there's 20 of them. Let's see if we can get through all of them. All right. You ready? You ready?
I'm gonna win again.
Okay. Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert,
Optimist or pessimist?
optimist,
Favorite board game?
risk,
Coffee or tea?
coffee,
Favorite snack food?
jalapeno poppers,
Favorite smell?
coffee.
Nice. Favorite color?
It's vanilla, not coffee. No, it's coffee with vanilla. Anyway, sorry. Favorite color? I'll go with just if it has to just be one, I'll just say red right now. Haviko likes red.
Red. All right. Favorite animal?
Panda,
Love it. Apples or bananas?
apples. Yeah,
Cilantro. Yes or no?
yeah. It doesn't. If it tastes like soap, I'm so sorry for you.
Uh,
It's so bad for those people. Oh, talking, please, talking.
Favorite day of the week?
Monday. Oh,
Uh,
yeah,
Monday.
yeah. Monday's just always been my day. Also, it's just my day. Even when
Right.
yeah, it's my day.
I
So
love that.
I almost didn't say Monday because we normally don't wrestle on Monday. But if I'm not wrestling, it's a Monday. That's my favorite day.
Perfect. Okay. Last song you downloaded.
Downloaded a song. That's a hard one. I don't know. I downloaded a song. Oh, that's it. Like I saved a song in my phone. Okay, I last song I searched. How about that?
Okay.
"Run This Town" by Jay-Z, and it was this Prometheus Zone remix. So there we go.
Excellent. Excellent answer. Invisibility or super strength?
Super strength. Before I was a pro wrestler, invisibility, but right now, super strength.
Favorite kind of soup?
Ooh, it's boring, but just tomato soup.
Ask permission or beg forgiveness?
Big forgiveness.
Favorite holiday?
Um, Easter's kind of cool.
Love it. First celebrity crush?
Um, oh, first, ooh, had to be probably some wrestler. I'm just gonna not even go first, but I'm just gonna say impactful. Megan Fox, the Transformers movie. I'm just saying.
Good answer.
It wasn't first, but it made me make a lot of bad decisions in my life for years to come. Anyways,
Okay, we got two more questions. Cake or pie?
pie.
And favorite.
Ice cream cake is different though. And shepherd's pie is different too. Favorite number? 22.
Excellent. All right, you did it. That was all 20 questions in the new lightning round.
Oh,
And
that was really
that
fun.
brings us to the end of the interview, Haviko.
Okay. Thank you, Karen, so much. Thank you. It's always such a pleasure chatting with you. Like it's a thrill, and again, it was nice to get a lot of that off my chest too. I haven't really talked to too many people about this past weekend since this past weekend happened, and again, the whole journey of becoming a commentator, the injury, it's been going so fast. So to take a moment, reflect with you, I appreciate you, Karen, for making time for me today. And two whoops, and much love to you and the whole 365 Nation for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much, Haviko, and thank you out there for joining us. That's it, another edition of Caring About Wrestling. See you next time.
Bye for now.